Have you ever thought about how silence can affect a woman's ego in a relationship? It's a question that might take you by surprise, but it's one that holds a lot of weight when you delve into the emotional dynamics between men and women. Think about it. In many relationships, there's this tendency for men to be always available, always ready to swoop in and solve a woman's problems. It's like they're wearing a superhero cape, always on standby. But what if that's not the best approach? What if being too accessible, too ready to jump in, can actually have unexpected effects? See, when a man is always there, always ready to fix things, it can unknowingly shift the power dynamics in a relationship. It can give the woman the power to treat him poorly, because she knows he'll always be there, always be ready to make things right. But is this dynamic healthy? Is it beneficial for the man, or even the woman? Well, the answer might surprise you. In fact, this dynamic can be quite damaging. It can lead to a woman feeling entitled, feeling as though she has the right to treat the man poorly because she knows he'll always be there to fix things. This can lead to a lack of respect, a lack of appreciation, and ultimately a lack of love. So, what happens when a man who has always been there suddenly steps back? When he chooses to maintain silence, to not be so readily available, to not always jump in to fix things? What happens when he decides to protect his emotional health and step back from the relationship a bit? Well, that's where things get interesting. Because when a man steps back, it can trigger a whole range of reactions in a woman. Reactions that can give us a glimpse into the true nature of the relationship and the true nature of the woman herself. So, what happens when a man who has always been there suddenly steps back? Let's delve deeper into this in our next scene. When a man chooses silence and steps back, it can trigger a range of responses from the woman. So, let's delve into this fascinating emotional ballet. First off, we have the restlessness of uncertainty. Picture this. A man who was once always there, always available, suddenly becomes silent. This shift can cause the woman to become curious, even anxious. It's a bit like stepping into an unfamiliar room in the dark. You're not quite sure what's there, and that uncertainty can be quite unsettling. She might subtly try to re-establish contact, to turn the light on in that room and regain the sense of control she once had. Then, there's the desperation of losing control. When a man withdraws, it's like he's taken away the remote control that the woman was using to navigate the relationship. She realizes she's no longer at the helm, and this can lead to a sense of desperation. Like a ship in a storm without a captain, she might frantically try to regain her influence, to steer the relationship back onto a course she's familiar with. And don't forget the blow to her ego. This is the woman who was once able to play the man's emotions like a well-tuned instrument, but suddenly he's not engaging. It's like the music has stopped, and she's left holding a violin with no strings. This can be a significant blow to her ego, leaving her feeling insecure and desperate to restore her perceived authority. Finally, there's the search for validation. Sometimes, a woman might chase after a man not out of love, but out of a need for the validation he used to provide. His withdrawal can trigger an identity crisis, leaving her wondering who she is without his approval. These reactions, while often unconscious, can be the woman's attempt to regain control and restore her ego. It's a complex dance of emotions and power dynamics, a silent symphony that plays out in the realm of relationships. But remember, understanding these reactions can be the key to building healthier, more balanced partnerships. In this silence, a woman may find herself facing an identity crisis. Our sense of self-worth is often tied up in the relationships we maintain, the interactions we have, and the validations we receive from others. When a man who used to be readily available and always trying to solve a woman's problems suddenly steps back, it can trigger a profound sense of uncertainty within the woman. It can feel like a rug has been pulled from under her feet, throwing her off balance. This is not a question of love or affection. It's about validation. It's about the sense of self-worth that was unknowingly tied to the man's constant availability and willingness to resolve issues. The man's silence and withdrawal can leave a void that the woman may rush to fill, not out of love, but out of the need to restore her sense of self-worth. It's like being in a room where the lights suddenly go out. You scramble in the dark trying to find the switch, the source of light, the comfort of clarity. This scrambling, this chasing is often a desperate attempt to regain the validation that used to come so readily. But this is where the identity crisis lies. It's a moment of realization, a moment of truth. It's the understanding that one's self-worth, one's identity, shouldn't be tied to the availability or actions of another person. It's the understanding that the validation we seek from others should ideally stem from within ourselves. In the throes of this identity crisis, a woman can choose to introspect, to learn, and to grow. She can choose to redefine her sense of self-worth, independent of anyone else's actions or availability. She can choose to find her own light switch, to illuminate her own room, and to validate her own existence. This identity crisis, although challenging, can serve as a catalyst for personal growth and self-awareness. It can be a wake-up call, a chance for self-reflection and growth. It's a chance to understand the importance of finding validation within oneself rather than seeking it from others. It's a chance to build stronger, healthier relationships, not just with others, but also with oneself. While silence can be a powerful tool, it's important to remember the value of honest communication. Let's delve into this. We're talking about communication, the lifeblood of any relationship. It's the bridge that connects two hearts, two minds, and two souls. It's that invisible thread that weaves together a tapestry of understanding, empathy, and shared experiences. But what happens when that bridge is broken, when that thread is severed? Misunderstandings sprout like weeds, resentment builds like a dam, and the relationship, once vibrant and full of life, begins to wither. Silence, while potent, should not be used as a weapon. It should not be a tool to manipulate, control, or inflict pain. It should be a sanctuary, a space for introspection, reflection, and growth. It's the quiet moment before the dawn, the calm before the storm. It's the pause that allows us to breathe, to gather our thoughts, and to approach our emotions with a clear and open mind. But silence should not be the default. It should not replace the symphony of words that can heal, comfort, and connect. It should not eclipse the power of open dialogue, the magic of honest conversations, and the beauty of shared vulnerability. Open dialogue is essential. It clears the fog of assumptions, breaks down the walls of defensiveness, and builds a fortress of trust. It's the key that unlocks the door to understanding, the compass that guides us through the labyrinth of emotions, and the lifeline that pulls us back when we're drifting apart. So let's not underestimate the power of our words. Let's not forget the healing touch of our voice. And let's not dismiss the magic of our silence. For in the dance of relationships, silence and communication are partners, twirling and spinning in a delicate balance of give and take. They need to work hand in hand, complementing each other and creating a harmony that resonates with love, respect, and understanding. Silence and communication need to work hand in hand to build a healthy relationship. Understanding these emotional dynamics can significantly improve the health of a relationship. We've journeyed through the landscape of emotional dynamics, examining how silence can shift the power dynamics in a relationship. We've seen how a man stepping back can stir up a woman's restlessness and uncertainty, how it can make her feel like she's losing control, and how it can deliver a significant blow to her ego. We've also explored the idea that this silence can prompt the pursuit of validation, not necessarily out of love, but out of a desire to restore a sense of self. And we delved into the importance of honest communication, how essential it is to balance the power of silence with open dialogue to prevent misunderstandings and resentment. The takeaway: empathy and self-awareness are paramount. By understanding these dynamics, men can navigate their relationships with more insight, protecting their emotional health without causing undue distress to their partners. Women, too, can gain a deeper understanding of their emotional responses, helping them to recognize when they are seeking validation or reacting to a perceived loss of control. It's also important to remember that these dynamics will look different in every relationship. We all have our unique ways of expressing and interpreting emotions, and it's crucial to be attentive to these differences. It's not about playing games or manipulating feelings, but about fostering a sense of mutual respect and understanding. So whether you're a man who's been feeling emotionally drained or a woman who's been left feeling insecure and unsure, the key is to take a step back, observe, and communicate honestly. It's about striking a balance, about understanding when to step back and when to step in. It's about recognizing the power of silence, but also the power of words. In the end, it's not just about the silent that destroys a woman's ego. It's about the silent that can build a stronger, healthier relationship. So, let's use this understanding, this empathy and self-awareness to build relationships that are more balanced, more respectful, and ultimately more fulfilling. Remember, the silent that destroys a woman's ego can also be the silent that builds a stronger, healthier relationship. Before we go, I want to hear from you. How has silence impacted your self-esteem? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this video insightful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more empowering content. Thanks for watching, and remember, your voice deserves to be heard.